You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, we give you tips on how to stay safe while you're attending Christmas parades.
It is parade season. Also, a vigil is held in California for 3 people who were murdered by a man catfishing a teenage girl in California. We'll have that story.
And it's a very windy day for us today. Some wind advisories out there, wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour. We'll break down your windy forecast and a big cool down that's coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us for the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. When a Native American is murdered or disappears on one of the 324 federally recognized reservations across the country, the majority of these cases are within federal jurisdiction, requiring federal law enforcement to investigate. Now, statistics show these communities see a disproportionate amount of violence and missing persons cases. More than 82% of American Indian and Alaska Native men and women reported experiences of violent victimization in their lifetime. According to the Congressional Research Service, similarly, Native Americans also reported missing at higher rates than the general U.S. public. Among the missing Native Americans, authorities are still searching for Grove, Oklahoma native Aubrey DeMarin. She was 25 years old at the time when she went missing in March of 2019. If you have any information about the location of Aubrey DeMarin, you're urged to contact the Delaware County Sheriff's Office, the OSBI, or the Cherokee Nation Marshal Service. Parades all over the 4 states will soon be taking place, and with Joplin's Christmas parade coming up soon, the JPD is ensuring that it will be safe. Candy is allowed at the parade, but it's meant to be handed out and not thrown.
Outline the details such as, parade routes and entry and exit points and roads that need blocked off. We'll be working weeks ahead of time in preparation to get our plans lined out, to get manpower in order so that we can adequately staff it, make sure it's a safe event for everybody involved.
Now, Joplin's Christmas parade is set for next Tuesday, December 6th. To find all your 4 state parades, you can find them on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, police in Riverside, California identify the man they say catfished a California teenager before killing 3 members of her family and then driving away with her. Nichelle Medina has the story. I'm sorry, that is obviously the wrong video for this story. Just days before the murders, Edwards had started a new job with the Washington County Sheriff's Department in Virginia. We'll get to that story later.
A look at this day in weather history, and an important date back in 1803, Christian Johann Doppler came up with the Doppler effect, was born. So a lot to thank him for. As we don't have a lot to track on the Skywatch Storm Tracker today, but we've got winds gusting upwards of 50 miles an hour out there as we head through the first half of the day. And they'll start to calm down a little bit by this afternoon, down to 20, 30, and still some of us up to about 40 mile an hour wind gusts. And we won't actually see calm winds until early tomorrow morning. So just be aware of that. In fact, we do have some wind advisories out there for the counties in tan until 1 o'clock today. Look at these clouds racing by on our tower cam at 7th and Rangeline. Look at the trees blowing in the breeze right now. Very windy. 58 in Joplin, wind to south at 23, gusting upwards of about 45 miles an hour under mostly cloudy skies. The south breeze has done one thing. It's ushered in very mild temperatures for us. 56 Chinook, 59 in Pittsburgh, 58 Miami, 57 Neosho, and 55 in Carthage. As we go through today, we will continue to warm this morning. We'll have an early high up here of about 65 degrees. As we go through the rest of the day, temperatures begin to fall. We're down to 34 by 8. Clouds clear out tonight and leave us very cold, 24 for our overnight low. And as we take a look at the 7-day forecast, we really don't warm up a lot tomorrow. 41 degrees under mostly clear skies. A little warmer Thursday and into Friday, but a little system, maybe a stray shower or two, cools us back down to 43 Saturday. And then next week, we get another system by Sunday. Rain chances Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. We're also quite mild, getting into the lower 60s. But a week from today, we're going to have an almost repeat as we go from 63 for the high Tuesday to 26 for the low. Only 36 Wednesday, down to 30 by next Thursday. So some very cold weather coming up on this roller coaster ride of ours as we come up, we're going to go down, we're going to go back up, go down, we're coming back up, and then we're really going to hit a dive as we head into the middle of next week.
All right, well, up next, Kavanaugh Studevant from the Carl Junction Chamber of Commerce stops by to tell us about the Carl Junction Christmas Parade.
And later, how reducing your salt intake could help your heart health. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
In Health Watch this morning, a little less salt could go a long way in reducing the risk of heart disease, and that's according to the findings of a new study. Elise Preston has more.
New research suggests shaking less salt on your food could reduce the risk of heart disease. The study in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology looks at data from more than 175,000 participants from the UK who filled out questionnaires about the frequency of adding salt to foods, not including the salt used in cooking. Researchers say they found people who don't add a little additional salt to their foods very often have a much lower risk of heart disease events, regardless of lifestyle factors and previous disease. The research also examines adding salt and the DASH diet. The diet was developed to prevent hypertension or high blood pressure by limiting red and processed meats and focusing on fruits and vegetables, low-fat dairy, and nuts. Patients who ate a DASH diet and had a low frequency of adding salt had the lowest heart disease risk. Researchers say these findings are important because lowering additional salt, not removing salt completely, is a risk factor that can be modified easily without having to make too much of a sacrifice. They also note that more studies are needed. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
Researchers looked at both men and women. They found women were less likely to add salt to food. They also drank alcohol moderately and were more physically active. Well, the World Health Organization announces that monkeypox has a new name. It will now be referred to as Mpox. Monkeypox was named in 1970, a decade after the virus that causes the disease was discovered in captive monkeys. But since the start of the most recent outbreak, scientists have pushed for a name change. They were concerned the name could create a stigma that would steer people away from testing and vaccination. In August, scientists requested name suggestions to replace monkeypox. Mpox became the preferred name, especially since it can be used in other languages. The WHO says both names will be used for the next year while the term monkeypox is phased out. In the most recent outbreak, more than 81,000 cases have been reported in more than 110 countries. Well, some cognitive decline can happen as we age, but a new study shows that some seniors with sharp minds after the age of 80 have some traits in common. Mandy Gaither has more on the data and what researchers say we should learn from it.
They're called super-agers by researchers at Northwestern University. Seniors in their study who are over 80, but with a memory that's as good or better than average people in their 50s and 60s.
So really less than 10% of people who think that they have outstanding memory performance end up meeting criteria. So we really think of this as a relatively rare group.
The researchers have been studying older adults with superior memories for 14 years, comparing super-agers with average agers. They say both groups have similar IQs, but the super-agers studied have these traits in common. They tend to be positive and active, challenge themselves daily, continue to work into their 80s, and are social butterflies who often volunteer.
Superagers tend to endorse stronger relationships with others, so they like to stay connected. So they're trying to avoid that social isolation and loneliness.
Researchers believe social connectedness may be linked to superagers' brain health. The data also points to a genetic link. A superager's brain, usually donated after death, was shown to have bigger, healthier cells in the area known to be first hit when a person has Alzheimer's disease.
So we don't have any choice over the parents and the genetics that we have, but we do have a lot of other choice in our biologic aging.
Researchers also found that the brains of superagers had more of a rare corkscrew-like cell that are thought to allow rapid communication across the brain.
We got very windy conditions for us today as wind gusts will be pushing upwards of 50 miles an hour through the first half of our day. Even as we get into the afternoon, we're still talking 20, 30, even 40 mile an hour wind gusts. The winds don't really start to die down until early tomorrow morning when we finally see some calm. And because of that, these 10 counties, this is a wind advisory that runs until 1 o'clock today. Take a look at the camera at 7th and Rangeline. You can see the clouds racing by, the trees blowing in the wind, and it is still breezy. 58 in Joplin, mostly cloudy, southwest wind at 23, gusts in the 40-mile-an-hour range. The south breeze has brought in much warmer temperatures, though. 59 in Pittsburgh, 58 Miami, 57 Neosho, and 55 in Carthage. As we go through today, we'll continue to warm. We'll have an early high of 65, and the temperature will begin to fall throughout the day as the cold front moves on through. And we'll stay windy, of course, dropping down to 34 by 8, and it's going to get even colder yet as we head for a low of 24 degrees under mostly clear skies heading into tonight. 7-day forecast. So we do not do a lot of warming as we head into tomorrow, only 41. 49 by Thursday. We get nice by Friday, 58, but mostly cloudy skies, maybe some rain chances. And that cools us down for Saturday to 43. And as we head into next week, by Sunday, we get another system rolling in. Brings us rain chances Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Also puts us back into lower 60s. But what's kind of crazy about this is a week from today, an almost identical situation. We go up to 63 for the high, and we drop back down to a low of 26. Then we're only 36 on Wednesday, a low of 19, and we only make it to 30 degrees by next Thursday. So we've got this roller coaster to ride. We're going to be up here. We're going to go back down. We're going to start to come back up a bit, a little dip, another rise. We get pretty good, and then we hit the far side of this roller coaster and just tumble. We've got a lot more of the KOAM Morning News coming up, but first, here's another live look at the Christmas lights in Webb City. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, and it also means that it's time for Christmas parades, some of them already underway. In studio with us this morning, Kavanaugh Studevant from the Carl Junction Chamber of Commerce. Tell us all about what's happening in CJ, and I know you all have a Christmas parade coming up.
Yeah, we actually have a big weekend in Carl Junction for Christmas. And first it kicks off actually on Saturday. So our Lions Club does host and sponsor our Christmas parade, but the day before they also do a big breakfast at our community center. So that'll be in the morning. Santa will be there. And then obviously Sunday is the big day, December 4th at 2 o'clock. And it is our annual Christmas parade that is presented by our Carl Junction Lions Club.
And how many entries do you have in the parade this year?
So we don't know. So it is completely free to be in the parade. You just show up. So there have been times where we have had a lot of different entries. We definitely know of 3. Both our high school and our junior high band will be there performing in the parade. And then obviously Santa is coming to town, and Santa likes to ride Old Red, our old fire truck. And so we definitely know Santa will be there. So those are definitely the 3 big ones that I know everyone looks forward to, but it's just a great time for our community come together. We have vintage cars that are in the parade. People have floats. One specifically is our Just Call Joe team with Keller Williams. They usually go all out. This year they're doing the Grinch. And so after the parade, you can stop by our chamber lot and they will be there with the Grinch where you can take pictures. They're giving away prizes. So it is a little bit more than just a parade.
That's what I was just about to say. It's a little bit more than just a Christmas parade this year. So, you know, we were talking about the Halloween trunk or treat. A huge turnout for that. Are you hoping to kind of capitalize on that success with the parade and just continue to grow things like this in CJ?
Yeah, I definitely think so. It's one of those things that everyone looks forward to for the holiday season. It's like Halloween. We all travel to each other's communities because we're always putting on events for the holidays. And I think Christmas is the same thing. And the parade has grown significantly, that we do have things to do afterwards and taking pictures and prizes. And it's just really neat to see a great organization like the Lions Club come together and continue to do this and make it free for anybody that wants to be a part of the parade too, which is really, really neat to see. And so it's a big, great weekend. It's a great weekend to come down to Carl Junction, like I said, starting on Saturday and then Sunday for the parade too.
Yeah, I was just going to say a quick recap on everything that's going on this weekend.
Yeah, so Saturday, December 3rd, starting at 8 a.m. at our community center is the Lions Club breakfast, and it's actually going to benefit CJ Shop with a Cop, the proceeds, and then Sunday, December 4th at 2 o'clock is the parade on Main Street.
All right. Well, Kavanaugh, thanks for stopping in. And
Thank
of course,
you.
we'll have this interview and all that information on our website, KOAMNewsNow.com. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
It's time to honor today's four-state hero, Petty Officer First Class Paul Spears. The Nevada, Missouri native served from 2001 to 2002 and earned a number of awards, including 3 Navy Achievement Medals, the Navy Unit Commendation Medal and the Meritorious Unit Commendation, and the Global War on Terrorism Service Medal. To Petty Officer First Class Paul Spears, we thank you, today's four-state hero.
The junior hockey team in Elk River, Minnesota is in its first season this year, and staff and players for the Minnesota Squatch are wasting no time getting to know the community and giving back.
Megan Rystad has more on new friendships formed over a game of bingo at a senior living community nearby in Otsego.
Seat and you'll see friendships are formed across generations and over bingo boards at Guardian Angels Riverview Landing.
62.
A senior living community in Otsego.
34, sorry, that's my bad. Sorry.
Yeah, I play hockey right now, junior hockey. We all do.
Phyllis Dahlstrom and Daniel Ellingson are teaming up after meeting for the first time.
Congratulations.
I graduated in 1956, but our team went to the state, our girls basketball.
That's sick.
It's fun. It's fun.
People here know hockey, right? So I just think having that interaction is good.
Chick Pojar is the head coach, GM, and owner of the Minnesota Squatch. And he explains it's about more than a game.
It's not only just about playing junior hockey. It's about what other experiences that you can bring to the table and offer if you're going to apply for a college or going to a job interview. These are life lessons and experiences that they can take with them. And it's a win-win, right? So it's good for the senior community. It's good for these young men.
We served food at the other Guardian Angels in Elk River, and it was pretty fun. So I was pretty excited to come here and play bingo.
Good for you. Good for you.
All of the Squatch players are between 18 and 20 years old, with a goal of going on to play college hockey. In the meantime, they're making a difference for a crew decades ahead.
Well, Minnesota Squatch players volunteer with Guardian Angels on a monthly basis.
So if Minnesota has a team called the Squatch, for the Sasquatch, obviously, then Oklahoma should have a team called Bigfoot. And then we could have the Bigfoot go up against the Sasquatch, which are basically the same thing, but
It's an
I'd be curious.
Interesting suggestion.
I don't think they'd want to actually play in Oklahoma since there's an open hunting season for
They might end up hunting the junior hockey team.
Yeah, we don't
That wouldn't be good. Not good at all. Something else that's not too good is the fact we've got 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts today. It's just going to be absolutely insane with that southerly breeze, and it will continue to gust. Even as we head into the afternoon, it dies down a little bit. 20, 30, even 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts still possible. And it won't be until tomorrow morning. So even overnight, we got 20-mile-an-hour wind gusts. It's tomorrow early morning that we finally see the winds start to calm down. And that's why the counties in tan do have a wind advisory through 1 o'clock today. And look at the clouds just racing by on our camera at 7th and Range Line. 58 in Joplin, south breeze at 23, gusting into the 40-mile-an-hour range. And the one thing about the south breeze, it's ushered in much warmer temperatures this morning. 54 Fort Scott and Lamar, 59 Nevada and Pittsburgh, 58 Miami, and 57 in Neosho. As we go through today, we will have an early high right around 65 degrees, and then temperatures will begin to fall. We're down to 34 by 8, and as we head into the overnight, clouds clear out, and we are down to 24 for our overnight lows, so absolutely cold. And we do not warm up much tomorrow. 41 for the high on Wednesday, 49 by Thursday, 58 by Friday, so a little bit warmer, but we have some rain chances, and that system brings us down to 43 Saturday, and then another system builds in Sunday. So rain chances Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. We get back into the lower 60s, but a week from today, we have almost the exact same situation where we're going to go from 63 next Tuesday down to 26, and then we're only 36 on Wednesday and 30 by next Thursday on this roller coaster ride that we're going to be taking with these temperatures. We got more of the KOAM Morning News coming your way, but first, here's a live look at the praying hands in Webb City.
Its most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:29. The holiday spirit has officially filled the city of Joplin after lighting the City Hall holiday windows. Visit Joplin installed a stained glass holiday scene in the front windows of City Hall. 3 painted vinyl panels resemble a stained glass effect and complement last year's windows. The window looks out onto Main Street. The window was painted by local muralist Sandra Pemberton. The city of Carthage is looking a little brighter as well. Carthage Water and Electric Plant opened its Sparkle in the Park. It's a chance for people to come out to Central Park and see a dazzling light display.
What I love about this is the kids, as you can see here tonight. Kids are running around having a great time. Families are getting great family pictures and great setting. It just really puts you in the Christmas spirit, and it makes me feel good to know that we've got great employees at Carthage Water and Electric who value this, value our community.
Sparkle in the Park will be open every day until January 1st from 6 p.m. to midnight. Well, Pittsburgh kicked off the city's holiday season with its annual Christmas parade Monday night. The parade began at 6:30 with about 60 entries and plenty of spectators, and KOAM was among those in the parade. There they are, wave a duck. It was good to see so many of you out there. With the Christmas parade season comes safety concerns. KOAM's Jalen Banks looks at how the city of Joplin plans to stay safe for its upcoming Christmas parade.
Christmas parades will be taking place all over the 4 states, and with Joplin's Christmas parade coming up, JPD is ensuring that it'll be safe.
To outline the details such as parade routes and entry and exit points and roads that need blocked off. We'll be working weeks ahead of time in preparation to get our plans lined out, to get manpower in order so that we can adequately staff it, make sure it's a safe event for everybody involved.
With a lot of attention put on the parade, local businesses have concerns with the safety of their businesses during the parade.
We just recently had the Veterans Day parade and had no issues, so I wouldn't anticipate any problems for the Christmas parade, but it would be naive for me to believe that it's not at least possible.
But Captain Davis says otherwise.
And so we'll still have the same manpower out on the street covering calls for service and the other citizens' needs, and we'll have a contingent of officers that are specifically assigned to parade detail to ensure safety.
Captain Davis also says that yes, candy is allowed, but it's meant to be handed out and not thrown. In Joplin, Jalen Banks, KOAM News.
Joplin's Christmas parade will be next Tuesday. That's December 6th. To find all the 4 state parades, you can go to our website at koamnewsnow.com/events. Well, this morning we're discussing the season of giving.
And the season of giving in full swing in one Wisconsin neighborhood's very own Winter Wonderland. Cars lined up down the block for the first day of Candy Cane Lane's light show, all raising money toward funding childhood cancer research.
Nearly 300 neighbors curate their own displays to garner donations for a worthy cause and put a smile on people's faces. That holiday magic is what brings people back to help plan the annual event year after year. And dozens were walking through the community LED display with friends and family.
Sparking joy while shining a light or two on a nonprofit close to many hearts. That brings us to our question for you this morning. How are you planning to give this holiday season? Is it by donating money, helping others, donating blood, cooking? Maybe you don't have any plans, or maybe you're doing something else. So far, 30% of you say you're going to donate money. 36% say that you don't have any plans. 23% say you're going to do it by helping others, and 11% of you say you're going to do it by doing something else. Make sure you vote through our website, through our app. Take part in discussion on our Facebook page. There's another way you can give here in the community as well.
Yeah, we're looking to brighten the holidays for kids in the 4 states. If you're out shopping, we invite you to pick up an extra new toy for our Toy Box project, benefiting area kids in needs. It also makes it easy to give a financial donation if you'd prefer.
And you can find the links for that on our website and through the KOAM News Now app. You can, again, donate financially online or do so during our first Toy Box Tuesday telethon, which is today at noon, 5 and 6. Yeah. Or as Tanya mentioned, you go out and buy a new toy and drop it off at either the station or our Joplin office at 7th and Range Line, or at any of the member locations, our partner locations. So you can find that full list on our website.
Quite a few. There's a long list. You can just go to our website and figure out where you can drop them off there.
Absolutely. We got a lot of wind to deal with. That's been what we've been talking about. We got wind gusts pushing 50 miles an hour today, and that'll be going on through the first half of the day. As we head into the afternoon, winds do begin to die down. We start to see gusts down to 20, 30, still up to 40 miles an hour to the east. We hold on to around 20 mile an hour wind gusts through the overnight hours. It's not until early tomorrow morning that the winds do begin to calm down. Skywatch Storm Tracker is clear and will remain that way, but for these counties in tan, we have a wind advisory. It runs until 1 o'clock. Clouds racing by with that wind, trees blowing in the wind. It's 58 in Joplin, breezes south at 23, gusts into the 40 mile an hour range in Joplin. The southerly breeze is ushering in warm temperatures as well, though. 55 Chinook, 59 Pittsburgh, 58 Miami, 57 Neosho, and 55 in Carthage. And as we go through today, we're having an early high of 65, and the temperatures will begin to fall throughout the day, down to 34 by 8 o'clock with partly cloudy skies. Clouds will clear out tonight, and we get cold, dropping back down to an overnight low of 24. Looking at the 7-day, only 41 tomorrow, 49 on Thursday. We head into Friday, though, 58, but maybe some rain showers. A cool down for Saturday, 43. And we have another system Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. It warms us back up into the lower 60s, but brings us rain chances. And a week from today, an almost repeat of today, as we go from 63 down to 26. Only 36 Wednesday and 30 by next Thursday. So one heck of a roller coaster ride on these temperatures. And again, be careful if you're driving with these winds gusting 40, 50 miles an hour. Even small vehicles could be impacted by that. We got a lot more of the KOAM Morning News right after this. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. We got Charlene Patton from the Kansas Soybean Commission here in the studio with us. Another exciting recipe. First, of course, it's always great to have you here.
Thank you.
Very excited to have you down. And we've got something that's a great idea for your turkey leftovers.
It is, and whether you have turkey for Thanksgiving or for Christmas and you have leftovers, you could even substitute ham for this recipe. So it's just a great way to use leftovers. And what we've done is sauteed bell pepper, onion in there. I've got a little bit of garlic and a half a cup of mushrooms that I've chopped in there. That's kind of our base there. And then to that, I'm going to add this, and this is just going to kind of blend in as we stir that. You can smell all that good.
Oh, yeah, it smells really good so far, and that's just the beginning.
And that's just the beginning. Go ahead and add that turkey. Okay. That's 2 cups of chopped turkey that we're adding to that. Add that to it. Oh, it sounds great, all that sizzle. And the soy cream cheese is what adds that creaminess to it. Now you're going to add a little bit of that soy beverage. I'll let you add that. And we're using a plain soy beverage. And I'm adding some soy sour cream. So again, that adds our creaminess to it. Very good. Thank you. We'll stir that now. And then you have some seasonings that we're going to add to that. Yeah, that we've got thyme in there, salt and pepper. Very good.
All right.
And maybe turn up our heat just slightly, just so we can start getting this blended to show our viewers there. And then you have a cup of cheddar cheese that we're adding. Yeah. Go ahead and add that. And then just add another little special flavor. We have just a teaspoon of Dijon mustard there that I've added to it. Okay. And then just to give another little bulk to this recipe, we have 1/3 cup of instant rice. So add that.
Oh, okay. See, now that's where I'm, a guy. I thought that was more cheese. But it's instant rice. For those of you at home, that was instant rice, not more cheese.
And you know what? This is when you're actually making it yourself. If you want to add more cheese, you just do that.
All right.
And make this recipe your own. So we want to get that till it's bubbly and hot. And then what we're going to do is put this into a greased baking dish just like this. And then to top it all off, I'm not going to do that today, but I want to show this. This is 1 cup of panko breadcrumbs, and they have a nice crunch to them that I've mixed with 2 tablespoons of margarine. And we're going to top our casserole with that. We're going to bake it at 350 for about 25 to 30 minutes, just until it's nice and bubbly and hot. And then you will have a wonderful casserole to serve with your family that is not like leftovers, but it gives you another option to use your leftover holiday meat.
Yeah, it gives you a great option for that, the leftover meat, with, like you said, without it actually being leftovers.
That's
so
right.
that's a pretty good deal. Well, Charlene, thanks for coming in this morning. And of course, we've got this recipe and a lot more right at our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. We're back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this. Wind is the thing for today, as we're going to see wind gusts pushing upwards of 50 miles an hour. We've already seen wind gusts upwards of 50 miles an hour reported by the Joplin Airport just this morning. It will stay windy through the first half of the day. As we get into the afternoon, it calmed down a little bit for some of us. 20, 30, and still upwards of 40 mile an hour wind gusts. And we're going to hold on to winds gusting upwards of 20 miles an hour even as we head into the overnight. It won't be until early tomorrow morning that we start to see winds begin to calm down. And that's why for the counties in this tannish color, we do have wind advisories that run until 1 o'clock today. Taking a look at 7th and Rangeline, look at the clouds just racing by in the wind. You can still see the trees swaying in the wind. 58 in Joplin, wind is south at 23, gusting into the 40 mile an hour range. Mostly cloudy skies. The one thing the south breeze is doing is it's bringing in considerably warmer temperatures. We have 59 Nevada, 54 Fort Scott, 59 Pittsburgh, 58 Miami, and 57 down in Neosho. As we go through today, we'll continue to warm this morning. We'll get it to a high early of 65. And then as a cold front moves in, we're going to see temperatures start to fall. We're down to 34 by 8 under partly cloudy skies. Heading into tonight, the skies will eventually clear out and we get cold, down to 24 degrees for our overnight low. We don't really warm up much tomorrow, only 41 degrees. Make it up to 49 Thursday, 58 by Friday with maybe a stray shower. Another cool day Saturday, then rain builds in Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, and we get back into the lower 60s. And a week from today, we have an almost repeat situation. We have rain, 63. We drop down to 26, but only 36 by next Wednesday, 30 by next Thursday. So a wild roller coaster ride ahead of us on these temperatures. That's it for the forecast. Now we're going to turn it over to Tanya Bach with Consumer Watch.
All right, thanks, Chris. Climate change and a rapidly exploding population are spelling trouble for the global food supply. But an underground farming effort below one of the world's most popular cities could provide hope for the future. Marianne Rafferty takes a closer look.
Farms are not something you'd expect to find in a major city. But roughly 100 feet below the bustling streets of London, officials at Zero Carbon Farms have transformed an underground World War II air raid shelter into the farm of the future.
We don't use soil, so we don't get agricultural runoff. We use renewable energy, we use recirculating water, and we're able to grow the crops 365 days a year with little impact on the environment.
Here, gardeners are producing various salad greens for restaurants and supermarkets. And even though the operation is in London, similar concepts could be used in major cities here in the U.S., offering more solutions to combat worsening climate and economic issues around the world.
Farming and traditional farming has a lot of challenges, not least of all because of climate change, inconsistent weather, supply chain issues.
While also providing an eco-friendly way to ramp up food production.
We're going to have another 2 billion people on the planet by 2050, and we ultimately need to develop more ways of growing more food to feed the world. And we don't have more farm space to do it, and we don't have another planet to do it on.
And because the farm is in the city, officials say crops do not need to travel far to reach consumers, thus reducing greenhouse gas emissions from shipping and ensuring fresher produce. We'll be right back with more after this, but first let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell. Well, now that Thanksgiving is behind us, many people are getting ready for the next big holiday.
Christmas is less than a month away, and that means Santa Claus will be very busy. And he just took some time out to check in on his friends.
Carly Schreck reports from the reindeer farm in Palmer, Alaska.
We have connections through the reindeer channel.
It's definitely crunch time for old St. Nick.
He is a busy guy, so see what we can do. So Santa's somewhere on the farm that we heard, and so we got to go find him. And we got to ask all the animals for their help finding Santa.
Rumor has it he'll be hanging around the reindeer farm on the weekends leading up to the big day. But you'll have to find him first.
I think we found Santa! He was over there, then we would see him, but if he would hide there, and we came out of there, we would also see him.
As part of their second annual Santa Experience tour, groups will be guided around the farm. feeding animals, crafting ornaments, and helping the elves with a tricky visitor.
We do work a warm-up break into the middle of the tour because it is outdoors. That's where the animals are located.
And there are more animals than you might think, like alpacas, cows, moose.
Finally got to see a turkey, real life, instead of just drawing it.
It is a farm after all, and though Santa's schedule is tight, it's part of his job to check in on his alternates out in the Butte.
We have the backup plan here, so if something happens with anybody gets sick on Santa's team, they can always give us a call.
Just in case, say Vixen or Dasher needs to sit one out.
Then someone over here like April might step in for Dasher for the evening, and she'd wear the Dasher chains and run us around.
A chance to meet other members of Santa's team who may one day get called up to the big leagues.
Well, the Santa Experience tours happen every Saturday through December 17th.
Unfortunately, I'm not planning on going to Alaska anytime soon.
How about the North Pole? I know there's a lot of reindeer up there.
Still not going to go that far north. I'm content with down here for now.
Have you got ready with your NORDAC tracking of Santa yet?
Not yet. We're not to that point yet.
Well, obviously he's not ready for liftoff.
No, we're not to that point with NORAD yet, but don't worry. When the time comes, we'll be tracking old St. Nick as he makes his journey across the four-state area on Christmas Eve. It's a good thing he's not journeying today because he might get blown out of the sky because of these winds gusting upwards of 50 miles an hour. Earlier this morning, the Joplin Regional Airport reported a gust over 50 miles an hour, and it's going to stay that way through the first half of the day. By the time we get to the afternoon, winds gradually die down from west to east. So we're talking gusts to 20, gusts to 30, gusts still up to 40. And as we go into the overnight, wind gusts hang on to still around the 20-mile-an-hour range. It's not until tomorrow morning that we finally start to see some calming down. Skywatch Storm Tracker clear except for this tan area, and this tan area is a wind advisory that runs through 1 o'clock this afternoon. Look at the clouds rolling by out there in that breeze. South wind 23, 58, gusts into the 40-mile-an-hour range, and that will continue. Ushering in warmer weather, though, so far. 55 Chanute, Parsons, 57 Chetopa, 58 Miami, 54 in Lamar, and 55 in Carthage. We'll continue to warm through the morning with temperatures reaching about 65 early, and they'll start to fall back down through the afternoon with partly cloudy skies. And as we head into tonight, they really drop off as we get clear and drop down to a low of 24. Not much warming tomorrow, 41. 49 by Thursday. Friday, we've got some warmer weather and some shower chances. Cooler on Saturday, 43. And then Sunday and Monday, at least, we warm up a little bit more with some additional rain chances. We got more of the KOAM Morning News coming your way.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Here's what's happening today. Scientists on Hawaii's Big Island are closely monitoring the world's largest active volcano after it erupted late Sunday night. There are currently no mandatory evacuation orders, but officials are telling the public to have a plan in case Mauna Loa continues to spew lava and debris. This is the first time the volcano erupted since 1984, when it came within 4 miles of the city of Hilo. A self-described white supremacist accused of killing 10 black people at a Buffalo supermarket in May pleads guilty to multiple counts of murder and a hate-motivated terrorism charge. It carries a mandatory sentence of life without parole. Several families of the victims say they will address the 19-year-old gunman directly when he is sentenced in February. And the Senate is scheduled to vote on the Respect for Marriage Act today, a bill to codify same-sex marriage while also adding religious protections sought by Republicans. If it passes, the bill goes back to the House, which approved a similar measure, and then to President Biden's desk for his signature. The bill offers federal recognition to marriages between two people if it was legal in the state where it happened.
Wind advisories for some of us through 1 o'clock today. Winds gusting upwards of 50 miles an hour. Early high of 65 with clearing skies, and temperatures begin to drop down to 34 by 8 o'clock. And as we head into tonight, we continue to get cold, dropping back down to a low of 24 with mostly clear skies. Not warming up much tomorrow, 41. We try to warm up by Friday with some rain chances. Cooler on Saturday, warming up toward the start of next week with some additional rain chances by Sunday and Monday.
All right. Well, the word of the year is gaslighting. That's no lie.
Merriam-Webster says people looked up the definition of that term dramatically more this year than in previous years. Publishing company says gaslighting is, quote, the act or practice of grossly misleading someone.
Interesting. The word's origin comes from the name of a 1938 play involving a man who tries to make his wife believe she's going insane. One of his tricks is to make the gas lights in the house dim and then deny the lower lighting to his wife, leading to her not trusting her own perceptions.
Interesting. It's interesting that it goes back that far. I feel like it was something that was a little bit more recent, but that makes sense though, because gaslighting would have been a thing back in the day. I don't think there's too many homes still using gaslighting today, but
no, maybe when you go camping.
Well, that wouldn't be in your home though.
No, definitely
I
not.
certainly hope your home's not using gas. My parents' old house actually still had the old gas lines that led to where modern day light fixtures were today.
Yeah, before our house fire, we had those too.
Yeah, very interesting to see the past.
All right.
Well, thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning, or putting the good in our morning, whichever way it went. We'll be back with more news and weather and our first Toy Box Tuesday telethon today at noon.
You call and donate, and we do the shopping for you. Have a great morning and an even better day.